'Tis the season. AAA is now forecasting more than 2 million Wisconsinites will travel 50 miles or more from home over the holidays this year.
And that's an increase of nearly 72,000 people compared to last year.
NBC 15's Cameron Kelly joins us in the studio. Cameron, this is the third highest on record for a travel period in Wisconsin.
John, Maria, let's take a closer look at those numbers. In 2019, there was a total of 2.4 million travelers. Numbers dropped after the pandemic in 2021, and that was around 2.2 million. And AAA forecasts that the number will jump back up in a couple of weeks to 2.3 million travelers. 90% of travelers nationwide drive to their destination. Over 2 million Wisconsinites take at least one holiday road trip. Air travel will see a 14% increase with at least 7.2 million expected flyers, while other modes of transportation like trains and buses should see a 23% increase from last year. But good news to those traveling by car. Gas prices continue to go down at the pump. The Badger State is averaging $2.85 per gallon. In the studio tonight, Cameron Kelly, NBC 15 News.